Three Sisters volcano. Instead, I am referring to the Indonesian portion of the island of Borneo, adjacent to the city of Tanjung Redeb. There, in several locations on outlying villages, boiling or very hot water has not only begun appearing from the ground in places where it never existed beforehand, but this is also occurring underneath multiple structures. As a result, one person literally had boiling water appear underneath their house, degassing steam that filled their home. In total, 2 new hot springs, 5 patches of unusually warm ground, and 2 spots of steaming ground have formed since November of 2024 when the unusual activity appears to have started. All of this can be owed to what is interpreted to be the intrusion of a batch of basaltic magma to around 16 kilometers depth. While still fairly deep, there is a series of cross-section large strike-slip faults and a major structural lineament which intersect this very region. I thus interpret that the heat from the freshly emplaced body of magma has transferred to overlying rock and then efficiently rose up fault lines, before finally transferring to groundwater. This heated water then rose, resulting in the abnormal surface geothermal vents in an area not known to contain them or any signs of volcanic activity. As while yes, we are talking about Indonesia, the nation that almost always contains the highest number of actively erupting volcanoes at any point in recent history, those volcanoes exist on major islands to the south and east. While islands such as Java and Sumatra were almost entirely formed from geologically young volcanic and intrusive igneous rocks, Borneo in contrast is largely composed from a surface geology standpoint of Borneo geology, various sedimentary rocks and sediments spanning a 460 million year long timespan. While Borneo has occasionally been the site of volcanic eruptions or created large intrusive igneous units across its geologic history, in recent times I would not call the island very volcanically active. This is hydrocarbons. One reason why this island contains abundant hydrocarbon reserves, especially with coal, as these would largely be boiled away and removed by significant and long-term volcanic activity. The reason I am explaining all of this is to help you understand how unusual the discovery of a magma intrusion underneath Borneo is. Yes, there is the dormant Tawau volcanic field in the far northeast of Borneo within Malaysia, but that hasn't erupted for 27,000 years. As for the Indonesian portion of Borneo, I found a few locations designated by various maps as volcanic rocks emplaced in the last 2.6 million years, but none of these were close to the area where the magma intrusion is occurring. This magma intrusion could just be some fluke zone of melting caused by an unusual interaction with the adjacent Molucca Sea Plate, a large regional strike-slip fault that is nearby, or old lineament, but the truth is we just do not know. However, there is some circumstantial evidence that the same section of Borneo has a low-velocity anomaly at depth, suggesting that other deep undetected magmatic intrusions or at the very minimum a zone of partial melting might exist. Since no uplift has been detected, I suggest that the relevant intrusion is small in size and highly unlikely to eventually trigger a volcanic eruption. In other words, it does not concern me. However, the situation does need monitoring, and I suggest re-verifying that these newly appeared geothermal features are truly caused by the intrusion of very deep magma. Thanks for watching. I would like to thank my new YouTube channel member Kent